Hello, coolers and lovers of FC Barcelona. This is trending news with Barca manager. Today, we have had a whole lot of drama surrounding our club, a whole lot of transfer requests, a whole lot of court cases, and we are going to be discussing them today. If you are new to this channel, I want you to like this video and subscribe for more Barca content.
Barca! 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 Barca!
Without further ado, I want us to get into the cases that we have to discuss today. A big shocking news at the Camp Nou today. Our very own young star, Hansi handpicked youngster Pedro Fernandez, otherwise known as Dro, has handed in a transfer request to the amazement of the club, to the amazement of his teammates, to the amazement of his coach. Now, if you can recall, Hansi handpicked Pedro Fernandez, otherwise known as Dro, from the under-18 B team. He handpicked him, he loved him, he liked what he was seeing from the kid, and he took him on tour with him to Asia. He was his personal bet in the squad ahead of Guillermo Fernandez and Tony Fernandez. So it was quite shocking for him when this little kid came to him and said, "Hey coach, I want to leave." Reports said that Hansi Flick said this was the biggest disappointment of his life, and I feel for him because he was counting on Dro. Even though most fans might not have seen him as something special, he was special to Hansi Flick. So for him to do this, it felt like betrayal. And according to him, the reasons for this transfer request was that he wasn't getting chances and he doesn't believe he would succeed at Barcelona. And we all know the famous Johan Cruyff quote: if you are having second thoughts about playing for FC Barcelona, you are of no use to us. No matter how you want to look at it, according to the club, they said this is not a young kid being immature, because he looks mature for his age, and that it has been a premeditated decision. So he didn't just come to the conclusion overnight, or it was a spur of the moment thing. It was something he has carefully been crafting with his agents, with his environment, with his people. And knowing our club, I don't think they'll ever refuse him. Nah. Personally, I don't think it's a loss. We all know how all cases, hopefully I'm praying, I'm not hoping this kid will flop or anything like that, but we all know how cases like this pan out. Most recently, we have Maguire, who had a clear path, but he didn't wait to speak to Hansi Flick. He just decided to go to Chelsea because they offered him more money. And according to them, they would give him more opportunities. But it didn't turn out as he expected. We can also remember Elias Moriba under Ronald Koeman, when he just broke out to the first team, and his dad was requesting an astronomical sum for a recent graduate. Koeman advised him and told him to place his football ahead of money. But he didn't listen. He has gone on countless of loans. He was sold to Leipzig. He fetched us a good sum actually. He fetched us about 20 million euros of that time when we were broke and in need of money. He was sold to RB Leipzig. And then he was loaned to Valencia because he wasn't good enough for them as of that time. And then he got injured. The loan ended and he went back to Germany, and then he currently plies his trade at Celta Vigo. He's doing okay. He's doing all right. McGill went out on loan at Chelsea to Sunderland. Then he was recalled when they had injury problems. But he's getting a few games here and there. But as they always say, it is never like home. And if you can remember Ricky Puig, there was this quote he said his dad always told him, that he's always cold outside of Barcelona. It's always cold outside of home. And that seeped into his mindset and stalled and stunted his growth, because he refused to go even when his managers refused to play him. Now, I'm not hoping Dro's case will be like this, but the move feels motivated by money, because reports are coming out, reliable reports are coming out from sources inside the dressing room, that he has told his teammates that he's going to PSG. Now, let's think about this for a second. What will make an 18-year-old that barely broke out into the first team 3 months ago leave the club that bet on him, leave a coach that handpicked him ahead of a lot of other talents who, in my opinion, are more talented than him based on what I have seen? But the club trusted the coach's judgment, and they let him. I don't believe personally that Pedro is more talented than Tony Fernandez. I don't think he's more talented than Guillermo Fernandez, the Fernandez brothers. But he became kind of like the peak of Flick, and he has been in and around the first team. He has played the odd game here and there. He always enters to close games, so it's not as if he was not getting any chance. But the reports that came out said his reasons were he don't see how he's going to succeed at Barcelona, that he has Olmo and Fermin Lopez in front of him. That seems disingenuous to me. It just reeks of someone whispering things into his ear. And as PSG always do, I think it is financially induced. His move away from Barcelona is financially induced. Bro has not played a full 90 minutes for us. I can tell that Flick is very, very, very clearly disappointed in him. Very disappointed in him from the reports coming out. Flick told him that he was counting on him for the present and also for the future. And I understand and feel for Flick, because he was a personal bet of Hansi Flick. He was out by Hansi Flick. I think Dro was picked ahead of Jan Vehile, who we ultimately sold to Mallorca, because he didn't want to be in the third division of Spain with Barça Athletic. We also have the talented Tony Fernandez, who I was backing this year to break out. He has been in and around the team. He started against Girona earlier in the season when we had some few injuries, but he went back to Barça Athletic to play in the third division. We also have Guillermo, who had offers all around Europe, but the Fernandez twins both decided to stay and fight for their dream of playing for FC Barcelona. I am particularly disappointed because I don't expect La Masia kids to think the way Dro is thinking. It is baffling. It is baffling. If it is as he said, that his move is about getting playing time and he doesn't see how he will progress in Barcelona, why PSG? Why PSG? I mean, are PSG known as a team that, okay, maybe you can say recently they have changed their transfer policy, but they also had Xavi Simons. Come on, they stole Xavi Simons from Barcelona, and I don't think he broke out in PSG. He was in the academy for a few years. He played a few games for them, and then they loaned him out. From loaning him out, he got sold ultimately to Leipzig, and now he's plying his trade in Tottenham. But that is all by the way. I believe personally that Dro's move to PSG, if the reports are to be believed, is financially induced. And I just hope that for his career's sake, it works out for him. Whatever he is he's thinking, and whatever his entourage might be whispering to him, I hope he succeeds. I can only wish him the best, and I'm absolutely gutted for Hansi Flick. This just reminds me of what Ousmane Dembele did to Xavi Hernandez, our idolo. After Xavi stuck out his neck for him, he went ahead and requested a transfer to PSG for 50 million euros. Ultimately, he split that between the club and himself. So out of the 50 million euros that was supposed to be his transfer fee to PSG, the club kept 25, he took 25. But that was after Xavi stuck out his neck for him when the club wanted to relegate him to the stands for the remaining 6 months of his salary. We even bought Rafinha as his replacement as of then, but he backstabbed Xavi. I'm gutted for Hansi Flick, but I'm also happy because there are other kids who are eager and willing to fight for their share. People like Tony and Guillamon, who are toiling in the third division of Spain just because they want to stay at the club of their dreams. And remember the Johan Cruyff quote: if you are having second thoughts about playing for us, you have no use. If he can say that about transfer targets, what do you think he would say about a La Masia talent, a La Masia graduate? And it was not as if his promotion to the first team was deserved. Personally, I didn't think it was deserved, but an exception was made for Hansi Flick. Anyways, good luck to him. No hard feelings. The same way he is living, I believe another kid will take his space. A hungrier kid who is willing to fight. I don't want to analyze it too long, but we've had people who, against all odds, made it to the first team. The person Drew is scared of Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez, nobody saw Fermin Lopez coming. But he put in the hard work and he didn't request a transfer. He got a loan out to Linares. He went there, he shone so hard that Xavi took notice of him, and in training, Xavi saw that he had the level for Barcelona and Xavi bet on him. I can remember even when Hansi Flick was appointed and we were going for Olmo. Most Barca fans didn't want Dani Olmo in the squad because we felt we had Fermin Lopez, and Fermin Lopez didn't feel offended by that. He put his head down and worked hard, and today I would say arguably he's the starting attacking midfielder for us because he was willing to work. Now we have Eric Garcia, who is basically indispensable to Hansi Flick. It was looking as though his career at Barcelona was going to end. It was looking bleak for Eric Garcia, and then he went on loan to Girona. The amazing years Girona had boosted his stock, and today he has played every single game for FC Barcelona. He is one of the first names on the team sheet. So I don't know why Drew did this to Hansi Flick, but I mean, he's just 18 years old, and I wish him good luck wherever he may pick at the end of the day. I wish him good luck. On other news today, it is being reported that Laporta will convey a meeting with the board to choose a day for the Barça general election, and they are contemplating between March 15th and March 22. They are undecided on that, but if they should decide, it is in the club's statutes that he's supposed to set the date at least 45 days before. So if the date is on 15th, he's supposed to announce it 45 days before the 15th of March. And he's also said that he's going to step down immediately he calls for election, and the vice president Yuste will run the club in that period, in that election period. Laporta wants to rerun for his presidency, so he would be engaged with campaign and the various election processes. Personally, I want Laporta to continue what he has started. I mean, under his reign, everything seems to be, barring the registration issues that we've had. We all know the mess Bato left for him, and he has been in the process of cleaning it up. I know we've had a lot of hitches from our return to the stadium, having to play in 3 grounds in a season, now having to deregister some players to register new signings, having to use injury exceptions, and so whatever you may say about Laporta, he has been doing what he has done is excellent. If you compare it to where we were a few years ago, we are not where we should be, yes, because we were about $1 billion in debt as of his arrival. But look, he has been able to renovate the Spotify Camp Nou. He has been able to. It was under his reign, Lami Yamal and Pau Kubasi broke out, courtesy of Xavi Hernandez. So we can say he has been relatively successful based on the cards that were dealt to him. So in my opinion, he deserves a second tenure. Others might think differently. Others like Victor Font, obviously. And I see nobody challenging him aside Victor Font. So I'm looking forward to the elections. I'm looking forward to the decisions to see who will take the club forward. Also, if we can remember, Hansi Flick also said his continuation at the club is tied to Laporta. He has become so fond of Laporta. Laporta was the one who bet on him, and he absolutely trusts Laporta. So another reason for us to root for Laporta to win. Also, Laporta has been sued to court on a 100,000 euros fraud claims by a woman. She tied the fraud to 2 or 3 companies tied to Juan Laporta. So the circus never seems to end in our club. Laporta seems to say he knows nothing about the fraud case, and so he's pleading his innocence. So whatever the case is, I just hope, whatever the case is, I hope he's innocent. But if he isn't, I mean, he will have to face the law, regardless of who he is. Fraud is not something to joke about. So this is all we have now. These are the trending news around FC Barcelona. Once again, if you love Barcelona, if you want to know about the things surrounding Barcelona, please like this video and subscribe for more.